Hello, everybody. I'm sure in last week's Friday message, I said we should be doing better in the cricket. I'm not sure that's one of my better predictions. It's very busy, isn't it, at the moment in the organisation. We're getting ready for the excitement of the 75th anniversary of the NHS. There's a little bit to look at in terms of the new NHS long-term workforce plan. Definitely something to think about in terms of the report into safety and inpatient mental health wards across the country. And of course, for quite a lot of our managers over the next 2 weeks, we're working really hard to sign off and conclude budgets and all the investment and other arrangements that we need to have in place as a public body. So, important for me at the end of my first 100 days to just step back a little bit from that busyness and reflect on some of what I've seen across Ardash. And I guess for me, there's maybe 3 or 4 things to really draw attention to and to memorialise and thank you for. The first is, here is an organisation that demonstrates consistent compassion to the people that we are working with. There's a personalisation in the care that we're looking to provide, whether that's in the older people's memory service in Rotherham that I saw at the beginning of my induction, or spending time with the wheelchair team, working with the looked after children's services in all of our places. So we're really trying to find that human touch, that consistent compassion, and nothing we do as an organisation over the next little while needs to detract from that. So let's hold fast to that ambition. I also detect some frustration from folk working in the organisation, a sense that things are complicated, that decisions could be made more quickly, that some things are not very transparent. It's not quite clear why that decision was made or who was involved or quite how the money is organised or what a commissioner does. And I can understand that frustration. I think there is some unnecessary complexity in the way in which we work and the way in which we are organised. And although I've only been here a very short time, I'm working with colleagues on the board, in the clinical leadership executive, to see how we can simplify things, make things more transparent, make things much, much more open. I guess that's why I make these videos, so that people can see what's going on and feel the opportunity to be part of that story. One of the best moments, I think, or many of the best moments, I guess, during my induction, have been moments where you sense the co-production work that is going on across our organisation. I spent time with the Intellectual Disability CAMS team earlier just this week, listening to their work with parents and kids. Time too, of course, with S62 and PFG. Heard all about the great work of the Brig Carers Forum earlier in my induction. So there are countless examples of us working in that joint way, not just in asking people, what do you want, but then staying with it and working alongside someone in the way we provide care and in evaluating our services. And I heard from a lot of senior medical staff that whilst there were some fantastic things about Ardash, they felt we could do more in the co-production space. And I must say that was music to my ears, because I think there really is a need for clinical professionals and managerial leaders to lean in to the sometimes difficult work of co-production. Sometimes means we hear things that are very challenging. But what's great is we'll be building on a base of already doing that in lots of parts of our organisation. So more to go at, but definitely there. And finally, I suppose there's a real sense that we do our work in collaboration with lots of others. And I know the NHS sometimes talks about partnership as if it's a thing that happens between big organisations, but a lot of the most brilliant collaborations I'm seeing across our organisation are with institutions way outside the National Health Service. The work we do, for example, with schools, some of the work we do with specific charities or educational bodies, and of course all of our research work is carried out in collaboration. So I started my reflections with a sense of compassion, moved through that frustration, bit of co-production, but collaboration, like compassion, needs to stay at the very heart of how Ardash works. If you think I've got the wrong end of the stick at the end of 100 days, I haven't really got to the heart of where you are, do get in touch. That might be another frustration for you. But hopefully, by taking the time to spend time across our organisation and listening to you, watching what we do, thinking about what we do, I'm going to be more effective as your chief executive in the years ahead. Because whatever we do, we want to keep what's fantastic about Ardash, even as we are busy changing some of the things that grind your gears and get in the way. Thanks very much for the work that you do and for welcoming me into your organisation. Cheers.